Namaskar, good evening, and greetings. Welcome to all of you for this event, Ask the Expert. I'm Srividya Nagaraju, and I have my friend Raghesh Menon also with me. As each of you join, probably we'll just go with a slow introduction. I am Srividya Nagaraju. I'm a learning facilitator, Indic wisdom enthusiast, and an international TEDx speaker. My purpose is rather, I believe the world would be a better place if learning and growth is made interesting. With that objective, I facilitate this learning in a very interesting way through training, mentoring, coaching, counseling. We'll get to know more about it. Let me have the pleasure of introducing my friend Ragesh G. Menon. The best part about him is he's just won an award. How excited are you, Ragesh? We are excited that you have got an award. And the award is for, he's won award as one of the most promising business leaders of Asia by Economic Times for 2021. So that's congratulations, Ragesh, once again. It's a great news for us. And he is CEO and founder of Scoopin. Scoopin is the world's first on-demand and managed marketplace for training industry, something totally new. Ragesh, perhaps we want to know more about your award. And also, I think you're the best person to talk about Scoopin and its unique features. I have experienced the user, but would love to hear from you.
Sure. Thank you, Srividya, for facilitating this event in the first place. And I've been following your talk show earlier as well. And I wish you have 100 more and 1,000 more coming forth, right, after me.
Thank you.
Just to introduce myself, I have a 20 years of experience in corporate. I started with TCS, then I moved on to become an operations expert. Then for last 8 years, I've been an entrepreneur, many-time entrepreneur, 3-time entrepreneur to be precise. So that's been my quick journey. And the last venture that I'm into is Scoopin.com, right? So Scoopin is a marketplace, right? Scoopin is a technology company where we are trying to create one-on-one connect between the trainers and their deserving market. So which is defined by corporates, institutions, the public, a government, or training companies. So we want technology to come in place to create that much needed unaccessed market connect. Mm-hmm. So that's what we do in Scoopin. And our mission is to help trainers to profile, position, connect, collaborate, and help them to make business. So we rest the day trainers will start making both active and passive income good enough so that they don't worry about their expenses, household expenses, living, or managing their life. Instead, they worry more about doing research on certain topics, bringing more knowledge onto the onto various platforms and to the world at large, right?
Focus on their core.
Absolutely. So
business development, which is the most challenging for all the trainers.
Yes.
Great.
So we are the go-to-market partners for the trainers in that sense. Yes. Fantastic. And we have been awarded by Economic Times. Just to tell about the award that you have told, yes, it's a personal award for me as a businessman, but I don't think I can isolate it from the community and the purpose and the mission that we are into. So in the last 9 months, I think Scoopin has been able to kind of keep the community tight and also grow it. And we have ventured into multiple things, right from creating a Udemy-like solution for India in vernacular space, and also in creating a product which will give a website for every single trainer without investing money into it. And just by subscribing to Scoopin.com, they get a website created on a real-time basis. So these are the two things that we have ventured into.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Ragesh. Once again, I welcome all the audience who are joined and joining us. We are looking forward to have a conversations with all of you, definitely. While we say that, there are a couple of things perhaps it goes very well, entrepreneur, typical entrepreneur quality is what I see in Ragesh is that he's number one, childlike. No, what do we mean by childlike? Not childish, but childlike. Is one who's very curious and waiting to implement some new ideas. Anybody gives waiting and not worry about whether it's going to be successful or failure, whether it's going to go right, wrong. But making that effort, that's how children learn, right? So I think that's a fantastic quality for an entrepreneur to have, which I have seen in Ragesh. Second one, what I've seen is his service to clients. Always ready, 24/7. You ask anything, yes, he's ready to help with a smile on his face. I think that's these two qualities I have seen, Ragesh, in you as an entrepreneur. So tell me, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Okay. So I guess we all would have started as an employee in some organization, right? And I strongly believe that's the way to start. I am the last person to recommend anyone to become an entrepreneur right from, right after his, studies. Because unless you appreciate being an employee, okay, you can never appreciate an employee later on.
Totally.
So be under someone, be humble enough to kind of learn it from your masters, people who have been there, done that. Spend some time, maybe 10 years, 15 years, it doesn't matter, 5 years, it doesn't matter. As long as you spend some time and learn and then venture into something, I think that completes the journey in as a whole. That is number one. And why I became an entrepreneur is simply because I personally am a creative person. Okay. So ideas flows into me and goes out of me so fast that it's very difficult for for the ideas to match up with the opportunities that I get. And when I'm employed, fortunately or unfortunately, it's always a situation where the opportunities are always limited to certain tasks that the organization wants, and your ideas is never limited. So it's very difficult for you to contain your energy within an organization. No offense to an organization, it's nothing to wrong with the organization or with the job. It's simply to do with what you are not able to kind of uh, it's just that extra thing that flows out beyond that opportunity that comes to. So what happens is you need to start creating your own opportunity so that your ideas can fit into it. The moment you start creating an opportunity, you have become an entrepreneur in mindset by default. I think it's a default thing that has happened to me.
Very true. Thank you. Audience, just as you already know, the today's topic for the Ask the Expert series is, the entrepreneurial journey, the why and the how. Ragesh would be talking more as an entrepreneur, where I will be talking more as a solopreneur. And feel free to ask us any questions, and we are happy to have the conversations with all of you. Or rather, we are looking forward to for any questions. Otherwise, let's wait for any questions from the audience.
Yeah. In fact, just on the side chat, Srividya, now for every entrepreneur, right, there is something called moment of truth. Okay. And you have to really find it. And that's what is going to be the pillar, the post of you, around which you are going to build anything. And for me personally, the moment of truth has been every single time when I speak to a trainer. Because what happens is when I speak to a trainer, or when a trainer calls me for anything for that matter, that's probably the most truthful moments of my life, right? A conversation happens for a purpose, and that keeps me going. So I wanted to kind of give this suggestion to everyone who is listening onto our live program, that as an entrepreneur, if you can find your moment of truth, what it is, I think that will anchor you and pivot you onto your journey, and you will not go beyond. You will always be in that good circle, because you're pivoted.
Definitely resonate with you. For me, when I go on do programs, even whether online or offline, when you see that sparkle in the participants,
Yes,
and that gives you that, okay, let me do more.
Absolutely. And
I think as entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, it's important that we identify what gives that, we say that what really gives that energy,
Yeah.
which bring a smile on our face, seeing a smile on others, whether whatever our
Yeah.
customer or whatever our business is, that bringing a smile on each other's face perhaps
Yes.
is, I'm sure many of us went through saying, I want to become an entrepreneur, but I don't know what to do.
Yes.
You have to
True.
think, and I did that homework for myself, saying, okay, which industry or what kind of work can bring that smile on my face first, and
Hmm.
give that sparkle and energy, saying I want to do more. ये
Absolutely.
दिखाओगे more moment we need to get. I think that is
True.
that is the idea we need to proceed if we are thinking of our own,
Becoming an entrepreneur.
where to start.
I agree
Part
with you.
why and the how, where to start. I think that's the first. I resonate with you. What can trigger to become an entrepreneur? In my case, the trigger was very different.
What is it? I'd really like to, hear about that.
Yes, I was a happy corporate employee.
Uh,
Didn't didn't had that kind of dream that I want to become an entrepreneur. Honestly,
okay.
I was happy going, and I went to IIM Bangalore to do my further studies, a management program, and after that, I
Hmm.
was an alumni at IIM Bangalore. I was part of the Alumni Association Management Committee.
Hmm.
Part of that, I used to organize events and happened to meet many icons of this country. I
Hmm.
met many CXOs or people like Dr. Kiran Bedi to um, Mumbai Dabbawalas, the great entrepreneurs. So many of such people, and ultimately, uh, I had the opportunity, rather as a team, we had the opportunity to organize and invite Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam,
Hmm.
our favorite people president of India. He came in, and that was one of those the great moment of life for me.
Hmm.
And if you have all heard about Dr. Kalam's talks, he normally makes people take an oath
Hmm.
during his conversation. So he made, because we were all management professionals at IIM Bangalore, he made us take an oath saying, I will become an employment generator, not an employment seeker.
Hmm.
That triggered me. That day when I took the oath, I took it serious. I said, oh my God, I have to now become an entrepreneur. So that day I decided. Then thanks to my mentors who guided me how to proceed, and the rest is all history. So that was my trigger to become an entrepreneur.
See how small things can change your life, right? The course of life.
Huh. Ragesh, we have a question for you. What are
Hmm.
the various risks involved as an entrepreneur?
Okay.
From audience, this is a question from audience.
Yeah, it's a non. We normally tell this risk to everyone that the only risk an entrepreneur can take is not to take a risk, right? On a simple terms, it's as simple as that. But I think on a larger note, the risk for an entrepreneur is only one thing, that um, he stops at some point. The biggest risk for an entrepreneur is when he gives up. If he doesn't give up, everything is fine. Like there is no risk as such. You always have a risk of losing money. You always have a risk of losing your name, fame, anything for that matter. But that's a part of journey, right? That you don't consider it as a risk. That the moment you consider it as a risk, then you will not take that step. The only risk that you can take is to stop yourself. Please don't stop yourself. You Let me assure you one thing: the road is not going to be laid with flowers. It's going to be tough. If anyone feels that it's going to be an easy journey or there is a cheat sheet for that, absolutely not. No entrepreneur has made it without heavy sacrifices in his life. So be ready to sacrifice, let go of things, and never ever look back. Just look forward, keep going, keep going, keep going, and the universe will come to your rescue at any point of time.
Absolutely. Today, I was having a conversation this afternoon with someone and talking about the risk. And my question is, where there is no risk? Tell me. Life itself is risk that way.
Absolutely.
So there is no
Absolutely.
risk-free aspect of life where you're 100% guarantee. You don't know when the corona or something else will come. We have no idea. Life is always a risk. Yeah.
Yes.
At the same time, I think maybe if I have to comment on the risk, let's not blindly jump. So, as I said, when I decided, I went to my mentors and
Hmm.
guided me initially the preparation work. I think that was very important for me. First thing I was told is do your financial planning before you jump. That I mean, those kind of, yes, we have to follow certain process and take guidance from somebody expert, but without taking risk, life has no meaning according to me.
Life has no meaning, and then the risk is always in connection with the reward, right? So any risk has got a reward, corresponding reward. The only thing is, if you are not an entrepreneur, then your risk is only for a month. Like you work for a month, and the risk is mitigated the day when you get your salary, and then again the risk starts, that you work for a month, you get your salary. In entrepreneurship, that month can become years. That's the only difference. So are you able to sustain to that, through that is the only question. But it's all the same at the end of the day.
We have another question. What is the fuel required for one to turn oneself to an entrepreneur? If you ask me, what is the fuel? Fuel is only the passion that you want to do. The passion and energy to work towards it, take your idea into execution. There's no other fuel. That's the primary. The rest, yes, add-ons you need. Do you agree, Ragesh? The passion, commitment to work.
I completely agree with you. The fuel, it has to come from within. It is nothing external. Nobody can actually make you an entrepreneur, right? And second thing is, you should identify. It's a discovery process. It's a discovery of your life. It's your life and your entrepreneurship are not two different things. It's like a marriage, right? Marriage is a part of your life. Similarly, entrepreneurship is a part of your life. So you're literally marrying to your own dreams, vision, mission, passion, whatever you call it. And at the end of the day, you marry an idea, and then that make it as your life mission as much as it is your organization's mission. So I think that from there, the fuel will start coming to you automatically.
We have more questions, so I'll move on. Question: how to develop perseverance and resilience? Yeah, one of my favorite topic. Perseverance and resilience, how to develop is our attitude. I think this comes back to the attitude.
Yes.
In fact, I've done recently a series on beauty of failure. It's there in all my social media. If you watch, actually, you will get an answer to this question of how to develop this perseverance and resilience. It's about the mindset. Just one word of one sentence, one point, if I have to say, when there is a failure, don't take it as I am a failure. I might have failed in this situation or this exam or this idea, anything could be. That has failed, but I am not a failure. This attitude, if we constantly, I think that will help us to perseverance and resilience. Or you can always bounce back and say, "Arey, if this doesn't work, doesn't matter. I have something more. That the mind will work when you accept and take action and watch those beauty of failure series, and you will get a lot more answer to that. Let's move to next question. How are one's values connected with entrepreneurship? Oh, beautiful question. Ragesh?
A lot actually. Your values, an entrepreneur's core value defines it's a seed for your organization value. And you can never detach your core value from an organization value, because it's those values which is going to build the culture of your organization. So better you have a good value system for yourself to start with. It could be anything as simple as I'll take care of my people, like my children. It could be as simple as that. Or it could be as simple as my core value is respect. I respect every single person. In my case, it is what it is. No, for me, my core value is respect to every single trainer who I meet. I don't discriminate between a beginner trainer or an seasonal trainer. Doesn't matter for me. He's a trainer at the end of the day. So anything can be a value, but that value system eventually will reflect in your behavior. That will become the part of the culture. People who are associating with you as a team later on will start inculcating that values, and then the organization develops a culture. So that's how it is. Very important. Good question.
Very true. I agree. I think it's important. That's what derives your organization. It's a kind of your identity. Values are identity as individuals, or as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, or as an organization. Yes. It defines who you are.
Absolutely.
And which is right, wrong value. All values are right. I think what we connect to it, and which are the values we can live
important.
We can live
Yes,
up to it is what perhaps we need to think through.
very true, very true.
Okay, we have next question. How do you actually hire people once you start your company?
Hmm.
And how do you finance your company if you don't find angel investors?
Very good. I was expecting this. This is a inevitable question, no, isn't it?
Right.
Okay. Here I would like to be a little technical, right? I don't want to be philosophical because it's a very, very crucial, important question. First question was what, Srividya, in that?
How do you actually hire people? So maybe that part I can answer, and you can
Please,
answer the
please, please, please,
finance part.
please.
Okay. How do you hire people? As I said, first, when you start a company, I have been an entrepreneur as well, while currently I'm in the solopreneur avatar, but I have been in an entrepreneur where all that hiring, everything is there. Um, what is important now is when you start talking to people about your idea, is where somebody will show a lot of interest in you. Initially you will hire probably partners or maybe first layer of employees who will stay with you, and that is where you need to connect with people now. People, connect with people, your network first. If you want to become an entrepreneur, my first suggestion mantra is develop your network. Stay connected with all people. You have no idea who can help you when, or who can just give you an idea, give you a suggestion, ask you a good question. That will take you a long way. So when you have your network, most of my whole journey so far has happened only through my network.
Mm.
Whether as an entrepreneur, when I had we had 50 employees on board, I've never gone to any agency for hiring. It's all through my network. So connect with the people, stay connected with people. And you need to, when you're hiring, you have to look at the skills, obviously. But beyond skills, check if they're aligned with your philosophy and values of the organization. Are you aligned with the passion? Are they passionate about it? That's where the people connect could really help hiring. There's a process. Technically, you can go to anybody, you can hire through open source, you can hire through your contact. That technical is there, but I think this is what which is important. And Ragesh, if you can talk about how do they fund, how to raise.
Yes, absolutely. Before that, let me just add to what you have told about the team building. Uh, Anyone who starts an entrepreneurship, right? Be a team in within yourself. If you are not geared up to play all the roles within a team, whether it is HR, whether it is accounts, whether anything and everything, whether it is product development, delivery, the first 1 year, let me assure you, my dear friends, if you can do all these roles on by yourself without thinking about the team, then the team will happen by itself. But if you depend on the team for anything and everything, then you are gearing up for a short set of failures, which is also not bad, but you will learn it hard way, right? So be a team within yourself, and slowly, with the formula which Srividya gave, expand the team. Yeah, until you grow to a certain stage, don't start hiring, because that is for bigger organizations,
Ragesh,
right?
you can more address on the fundraising part. That's
So regarding the fundraising part, always, your skin has to be in the game, right? So invest whatever is there, and when you invest, it's not just your money; it's also your opportunity cost. And let me assure you, my dear friends, that in all likeliness, you will lose the money in the first stage. It's inevitable for simple reason that you are learning. It's almost like you are spending a lot of money to get an MBA degree. Here you're spending money to learn it by yourself. It's the only difference. So you will lose money in the initial stage. Be prepared for it and be okay with it, right? Now after that, once you have proven that your model is good and you have started generating some small revenue, or in some level, if it is successful, start getting money from your very near ones and dear ones. That is where you should be able to first get the money from. Why? Because if you are not able to convince your near ones and dear ones, your friends, families, inner circle, not telling everyone, one among them or two among them is good enough. If they believe in you, then rest of the world will start believing in you. If you can't convince your very close circle for funding, it's very unlikely that you will be able to convince anyone outside who you have never met in your life. So work towards that. Once you have completed the inner circle's funding initially, then automatically the rest of the things will start happening for yourself in different ways. I can't tell you a formula. It's no single formula for that. That is
And
number one.
like crowdfunding to
Yeah,
invest.
those are all technical way of raising funding, but it takes time. Don't jump into it. It's too early to look for a funding when you have started. First, you prove yourself. It takes time, my dear friends. It takes few years. Let me be very upfront for you. That is one thing. Second thing, very important, you need to look for is government grants. Please look into it. There are a lot of funds available with government for good projects. If your project is good, go ahead and start applying for it. In the process, you will understand how the funding happens. Live with the grants for some time. By that time, your funding, you will be fund ready as an organization. Okay.
Absolutely right. So next question, what all could be the basic risk one has to look into or dig into, make the decision of converting oneself from an employee to an entrepreneur? If I can have to give one step, as I mentioned earlier, the first is do your financial planning. For example, to be more specific,
Yeah.
depending on what idea and how long it takes to establish your business, depending on what, and someone like me as a solopreneur, if it doesn't take too long in terms of starting or establishing, but yes, growth may take time. Think that 1 year or 2 year or 3 years, identify that. In fact, what I have learned is give a number to that fear or risk. For example, if I don't earn, identify that 1, 2, or 3 years, save your money to survive your lifestyle for that period, even if you don't earn anything. I think that is the first risk you will have to identify. The rest, yes, also it's important to take a mentor, right mentor, obviously right mentor who will ask you right questions. That has been my strength, and that's what I currently follow, because what I have received from great people, if I have to give that one suggestion, is do your financial planning, prepare yourself for 1, 2, 3, or whatever the number of years, keep that money ready, and if it's possible, give it to your spouse and say manage it, so that you don't even touch that money. Whoever your spouse or whoever is other family member who's your support, give them that money for that many years, and trust me, that will work. One, let me move to the next question. How many years do you suggest we work before starting our company? Before becoming an entrepreneur, how long should be an employee? I don't think there is a specific number, but just okay. One thing I did, probably Ragesh can also add, is that I worked in international companies most of the time. So before becoming an entrepreneur, I worked in an Indian company because I wanted that exposure. So you need to decide what kind of idea and get yourself. One is working for a company. Number two is be active in different networks, startup forums. That also have to do parallelly. So then you will know when you are ready. There's no formula X number of years, but be part of. There are so many forums, startup forums, and you don't have to go there only after you become an entrepreneur, but people have to go before you become, so that you get exposed to all aspects of entrepreneurship. I think that is what my suggestion is. Number of years, not sure, but these are the activities you need to do.
I completely agree with you, Srividya, on that. There's no specific, there are people who have made it without even an formal experience, people who have made it after many years of experience. It all depends, right? The answer is it depends. But now, to put some figure to it, I completely agree with you on the fact that, yes, you need to start, being an entrepreneur while you're employed. Start enacting like an entrepreneur, way before you decide to quit is one thing. And second thing is, um, it, so basically, be under someone who is already an entrepreneur. I would strongly recommend that. Don't jump into an entrepreneurship. Yeah, a lot of time you will save. So once you are out of your job, get mentored under an entrepreneur. Don't get mentored under theoretical mentors. Please don't do that. If someone is there who is not been an entrepreneur but who has got knowledge after reading books, please don't get mentored with them. Instead, you go and join an entrepreneur, be with him for 1 or 2 years, then you will get the formula right for yourself. It's a discovery at the end of the day.
That you were talking about the mentor, we have a question for you specifically from audience. Who's your role model, or source of inspiration, and why?
Um, See, there are multiple role models for me. Okay, so for different aspects, I take inspiration from different people, right? Right from Elon Musk, no, to the Apple as an organization, to LinkedIn as a community. You get inspired with anything and everything, up till my child, who shows interest in doing something and who is focused in doing and getting it done. I get inspired from every single thing. So I believe my mentors, I learn every single minute, and the entire universe conspires for me to be my mentor, and that creates a lot of wonders, in my journey. I've seen that happening. So it's
Uh,
very difficult to put a word to it, or put a name to it. Actually, very difficult.
Ragesh, this reminds me when you said the whole universe is my mentor or guru. Uh, it reminds me of one conversation one of the greatest guru had. So in India, the gurus, some of the ashrams they are called Jagat Gurus. We have
Hmm.
heard the term, right? So somebody went and questioned him saying, "Oh, how can you call yourself a Jagat Guru? That means are you guru for the entire world?"
Huh.
Yes. He said, "No, that's not the what I think." He says, "Then why?" It's just that people come to me asking
Hmm.
questions and I give some suggestions based on whatever I have learned or I get a message, I convey to them and they come back and tell me. So
Hmm.
he says, I learned from the Jagat. Jagat is the world, you know. So
Hmm.
I am not guru for the world, but Jagat is
Jagat is the guru for me. Yes.
guru for me is brings in a this is said by one of the Shankaracharya of Shringeri Mutt. He answered to somebody who questioned him.
Yeah.
That
Very
reminds.
nice. In fact, yeah, very nice. Hmm.
Okay, as we look for a couple of more questions, audience, when do you realize you are meant to shift to the entrepreneurial world? I think this is completely, there is no measurement, but you will know. Trust me, you will know when you're ready. It is about listen to your own inner voice. Listen to your own inner voice. As I said, for me, that first trigger happened. After that, a simple example, when you decide to buy a specific car, let's say,
Hmm.
you decide to buy a Honda City, invariably when you start going on the road you will start seeing Honda Cities more on the road, as
Hmm.
if everyone started driving it. No, they were already there. So that universe will start responding to you or you will start connecting to it. My suggestion is, with the trigger, stay on to that, stay on with the thought and keep on mulling over it, and it will lead you. So there is no question saying, yeah, this is, I'm ready. It will tell you. Your own inner voice will tell you that you are meant to shift. As I said, I never had the dream. When some people have a dream for a long time, for me, it came as more as an inspiration and a message, because from a role model whom I really appreciate and I've got inspired personally with that energy. For Ragesh was a different reasons. For Ragesh was so
Completely.
each person's reason could be different, but listen to your voice and it will tell you that you are meant for it. Okay, I'm going to move on to next questions. How to face challenges or Facebook? And next question is, are Facebook and Infosys examples of entrepreneur enterprise? Okay. I think we can answer that in a quick manner. Are they examples? Tell us. Do you think it's a good example? I think example again is very personal. If I can look at it as a good example or a bad example is up to me. What calls a good example is, have they been successful in making money? Let's get to this point. Entrepreneurship is just not living your passion and feeling happy about it. It has to convert into money, right? That is very true. It may take time, but otherwise there is no point. We can't, then you can do our, we can do our charity. So it's important. So our Facebook Infosys examples of entrepreneur enterprise, absolutely yes. I can just say yes. And so let's more spend time on how to face challenges. Okay. If I have to start with how to face challenge, how do we look at us? What is a challenge for us? Okay. Life is filled with challenges. For me, challenges gives me more motivation to work. I enjoy solving problems, whether it is people problem or situation. People come to me with a lot of problems because I'm more a people person. And for me, yes, helping them, I won't solve their problem directly, but helping them to solve their problem. So each one can look at challenges, oh my god, challenge, or said, okay, next challenge, I'm ready, so I will learn something. Because that's what brings out the best in you when you address the challenges. That's my understanding. How to face, as I said, look at it as an opportunity, another situation, rather than as a oh, not again. Said, wow, next, instead of why me, try me, I'm ready for the next challenge. That mindset will help us to face the challenge and seek help. Seek help. Don't try to solve everything on your own. In fact, I say seeking help is a strength and not a weakness. Seek help, and everyone is around there to help us. These are the two things I can talk about how to face challenges. Maybe you want to add something, Ragesh, before we move to the next question.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of put another perspective, more than challenges. I wanted to talk difference between a business and an entrepreneurship, right? See, a business is something which will get the money rolling for you. Could be as simple as starting a kirana shop, right? There's hardly any innovation there. You can simply start off with investing into it and you start getting the returns out of it. That's business, right? But entrepreneurship is where you're literally creating a new thing, creating opportunities out of a thin air. So that is a difference. So in that respect, Facebook, Infosys, all these people were definitely entrepreneurs, no doubt about it. And I completely agree with you. And second point is, uh, it's a I define business or entrepreneurship as a for-profit sainthood, right?
Mm.
It's a renunciation towards the material world for the betterment of the larger cross-section of the society. So here, money is the defining factor, and no doubt about it. I agree with you on that.
Okay, we
Right?
have a next very interesting question.
Hmm.
How has this pandemic affected your professional lives, and how are you managing it? I love this question. I'm
Hmm.
sure both of us have stories to talk about it, how we manage.
Yes,
And
definitely, definitely.
as we said, it connects back to the challenge, right? How do we face challenge? So it's a next step towards it. I'm very happy with this question. How this pandemic affected, it has definitely affected. So there was initial thought saying, okay, what do we do now? There's nothing happening. What do we do? And that's where one of the things Ragesh started from Scoopin is that, okay, we have time, it's time to upskill ourselves, reskill ourselves. And he says, why don't we trainers start sharing our knowledge with each other?
Yeah.
WhatsApp. It was a simple idea came up from one of the team members, and we started. And Ragesh, tell me how that journey went, and I will add the rest of it.
It was awesome. On 25th, 24th or 25th March is when the lockdown was declared, right? And we were all set to launch our Scoopin 2.0 with the Market Connect system, right? Which connects the trainers with the market. And all of a sudden, we had to shelve the entire project because before end of March, all the companies have started shutting down and they have stopped all the trainings, what they had to run, which means we also lost all the contracts that we had. So everything came into a standstill. And that's when we started off with this idea, like Srividya told, that, okay, let's all pull our thing. We might not be able to save the money part, but at least let's save the mind part. So getting locked down for 20 days is lifetime opportunity. Like you never experienced it before. It's almost like getting jailed, right? We started on end of March 30th. We started and it went on till end of May. 2 months, two continuous months, and you are one among those masters, Srividya. 45 trainers with 45 different subjects for 60 days continuously. Putting up content onto 12 WhatsApp groups across 1,500 trainers. We did it in style, right? Not even a single day was thing. And the challenge was what if you can understand, challenge was to make it happen. It's nothing else. So I was literally for those 60 days I've not got out of my chair. I can't even remember anything for that 60 days, and other than just being there and coordinating this, right? Imagine if I had looked out for a team at that point of time to get it done. Nothing would have got done. You become a team, then your inner circle become a team, and 3-4 people together make it happen, along with the trainers whoever is participating on each single day. So that's how we overcome. And after that, what happened after the 2 months thing exercise, we got the idea of a Udemy like a solution for the India. We created in the next 2 months. Then we churned out another 175 trainers, trained on how to create and sell their e-courses online. So this is how things get developed. And at the end of the day, it's all about whether you're up to that challenge, whether you're in action or not, whether you're in the game or not. As simple as that.
Yes, the question is, when life comes to a standstill, don't get disheartened. As I said, okay, so this is a challenge. What can I do? Focus on accept the situation. Most of the challenge in people is we don't accept. We say, oh my God, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Da, 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 da. We get lost in the problem. Accept the problem, and then you will start thinking about solutions. So Ragesh came up with a whole trainers academy, which is helping all the trainers to launch their e-learning courses. I mean, definitely I had the privilege to launch as one among the first set of entrepreneurs. And personally, what I do is it did affect for us as trainers, because training is the first budget it gets cut from the organization, because these are all nice to do rather than a core need. So we had to come up with our own, reinvent ourselves. So I was an animated, outbound and activities kind of a trainer. Now I have to frame and do it. Yes, I had to upskill and reinvent myself and say, yes, now I'm ready for a virtual training. To the extent now Ragesh invites me for all the scooping trainers, as
Yes.
I started now teaching how to conduct online training program, how to
That
conduct.
became your signature program by now. See how creativity is working.
So yes, challenges will definitely be there. Life will keep throwing unexpected, and this pandemic, totally lifetime learning for all of us. Couple of messages is keep learning. That's what the first thing we started is to, okay, let's upskill ourselves, and that
Yes.
automatically led us to a new opportunity. So now my course is up, all our courses are up, and when you can visit scoopin.com, and online courses are there like Udemy, and it is growing. Obviously a lot of changes are happening, but yes, we have for the rest of the life my course is up there, passive income is going to
Absolutely.
be-
Your product is up. You are no more a service person, you're a product owner.
product
That's
is
the
up,
beauty of it. Yes.
right. So like that's a message: accept and take action.
I
And
just want to add one more, metaphor here for all the people out here, who thinks who is an entrepreneur. If you are an entrepreneur material, I'll tell you an example. Suppose if you are locked up or you got lost in woods, in forest, along with a bunch of people, and you will always see that most of the people will be worried about why they are locked up in the first place, and there will be one person in that who is constantly thinking of how to get out of this maze, right?
right.
If you are that one person, then you are an entrepreneur material. Just think about it.
Very true, very true. So next question, they're congratulating you, Ragesh, for the ET
Thank
Award,
you.
Economic Times Award. Just for the viewers who have joined little later in the introduction, I did mention Ragesh is one of just recently during this week as a most promising leader by
Business leader in Asia. Yeah.
in Asia, not just in Bangalore or India, in Asia. So very prestigious award he has won. And along with the congratulations, the question is, what do you foresee the training industry's future?
Oh wow, it's very very bright. It's very bright, and the only thing, if it can, anything which has held back this industry, is the connect in the market. See, last 30 years, you take since the new economic policy was introduced in 1991. You know, after that, you see every industry segments have flourished in India. Right, India grew, but one industry which has not really picked up is the training industry. Okay, which also gives us an opportunity to kind of explore it. So it's a $32 billion potential industry as per Ken Research 2012, and today it stands at anywhere between $5 to $10 billion unofficial, numbers. We still have a long way to go, but provided we have technology, then the scope is unlimited, and I see a very very bright future for that. Very bright future. Bright
I
future.
totally agree with Ragesh. I think with the way the industry, the whole market, the world has become so dynamic.
Yes.
What does that mean? Dynamic means we have to keep changing, which means you have to change your skill, you have to reskill or new skill. The reword, reinvent yourself, reposition yourself. All that can happen only for that. The learning is important. And that's where I think the trainer or the training
Yes,
industry has a very significant role to play.
very true.
So I see a lot of, yes, there will be temporary ups and downs, but in the long run, yes, there is a lot of.
But if there is one thing which you need to focus is not on what industry has got for you, but it is more on what you can give back to the society. Please focus on that. The rest things will come to you. Please do a lot of research on materials. Don't be a very vanilla level trainer. Please don't do that mistake. If you take up a subject, go deep into it, you become a researcher in that subject to such an extent that you become the authority when it comes to that particular subject. Then training will come to you.
I think just to add, Ragesh, is become curate your programs rather than picking up from internet, but
Yes,
curating.
yes. Curate your programs. Let it be original in some way,
Yes.
at least in terms of its structure and presentation.
Right. Tell about money management and how to save money or investment. My simple suggestion is go to a financial investment expert and get the guidance. I think that's better because it's not a one sentence answer of how to um, uh, manage the money or how to save the money. I think you should take a professional expert guidance is my suggestion to that. So let's move to the next question. Srividya, please share your experience as an international TEDx speaker. Okay, sure. It's a great experience. I'm sure for every speaker trainer, that's been a dream. This validates, as an entrepreneur or any role you play, the power of your intent and setting goal makes a big difference. 2015, I decided in the beginning of the year, part of my goal saying I want to become a TEDx speaker. That was my goal, written goal. That's it. And I was looking more at here in India, saying, how do I get an opportunity, how to do. And another one, again, I want to is power of networking. People connection makes a big difference, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur. The word of mouth, your personal branding, who you are. The moment, we like how I said, the moment I say Ragesh, I know these two comes to my mind. And I'm sure he will tell me the moment Srividya, there are 2, 3 things. This is the brand value we carry. That's most important. So how did I become an international? Thanks to my network. I got into somebody and add value to others without expectation. That's what helped me. And finally, I figured out that person was a curator and I got invited directly. I was so fortunate. And that has increased my brand value, obviously. And I have now, like last month, my Ask the Expert topic was that how to be an effective TEDx speaker. And now I've got 52,000 plus views. Yes, life changed. My confidence went up. I'm more an now international facilitator. Fantastic experience, learning tremendous. Okay, no more questions. Should we? Yes. What are the other questions? And yeah, as we look up, Ragesh.
I want to add one thing, Srividya, before I know you get into that regarding the financial aspect. I think that's something which is bothering almost everyone. That what will happen to my financials, right? When they, so one piece of as someone who has gone through that phase, is that see, finance will be an issue. Rest be assured, and it will be a very typical situation where you will have to manage a very good book of records for your organization while your personal CIBIL will be a complete mess. And I say, if an entrepreneur's personal CIBIL is all intact, he is not an entrepreneur anymore, right? He needs to go to that level of seeing the bottom many times, and seasoned enough after that to kind of understand how to manage money. Because a typical finance management doesn't apply to entrepreneurship finance management. It's very, very difficult, very different, right? You go to a bank, sit with a wealth manager, he will not be able to advise you on how to manage your finance when you are an entrepreneur. So there are certain things which you'll have to go through as an experience. Only one thing that I can tell you is perseverance. Whatever happens, come what may, don't look back, keep marching forward. Because after some time in your entrepreneurial career, it is not you who is going to put money, it is outside world. But until the outside world puts money, you have to do that honors and your skin has to be in the game. That's what outside world looks for. So don't expect that you have a bank balance and then money will come on top of it. It has to come down to zero before you get the money on in back. Do you have the resilience for that? Is the question.
Very true, Ragesh. Probably we just have now another 10
10
minutes.
minutes.
10 minutes we have, so maybe we can have some messages, some specific learnings, both of us share as entrepreneur and some message. So maybe you can start and I will add
Okay, great.
some of your
Uh,
best moments or learnings, and then.
so maybe something which coming to my mind, which all the entrepreneurs should probably keep in mind. I'll mention it. Number
Mhm.
one is, see, entrepreneurship is like a human body, right? It matures with time. It doesn't mature on day one. So like how much ever we try, on fifth year we cannot be a 50-year person, right? 50-year person is 50-year person because he has lived through that 50 years. So only time tested business model can survive.
Mhm.
So the first quality of an entrepreneur is to be able to withstand the test of the time. For that, you need resilience, the persistence, perseverance, and come what may attitude. That is the whole crux of it. Come what may. It doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, as long as I'm alive, I know I will survive, right?
Correct.
And the rest of the qualities, whatever you're concerned about, it gets built over a period of time. And that's the part of your discovery. So it should be, and second message is that treat it like a game. When you're in a game, you don't worry about all these technical words, right? You simply play the game. And that should be the way you are treating entrepreneurship.
I
You should be
like
that involved.
I like when you say play the game. And
Uh,
when we play the game, while intent is to definitely win, the most important is to enjoy the game.
enjoy the game.
That's a sound and a strong, clear message from both of us, that enjoy the game every day. That's where, whether Ragesh or me, anytime our energy is always up,
Mm,
because we enjoy every moment of our work. So it is no more a stress. And for some of you who said how to transform in from employee to an entrepreneur, I think there is an in between stage called entrepreneur.
mm,
So
correct.
become entrepreneur in your own organization. I did that, though it was not planned. I think it
Mm,
was there in me, is what I realized much later. So in the company I was working, I used to be an entrepreneur. How?
mm,
Come up with an idea, go to your manager, tell them, and implement. So there are so many ideas I've implemented in the organization. And I think what else worked for me also is, while I was doing my co-work, I used to do all the add-on roles in the organization.
mm.
Be part of employee engagement or innovation or corporate social responsibility. I have been part of many initiatives of the organization. All these today is really helped me in the current role after what I am playing. So become an entrepreneur. Mm,
Completely endorse it. Completely endorse it. I
so
was an entrepreneur for almost 2 years before I quit my job.
right, right.
Yeah.
And you will know it. I mean, as I said, in my case, since that idea was not there, I never paid attention, but it was there in me, is what I realized naturally.
Yes. Yes. You are living with that consciousness. Absolutely. Absolutely.
On that, so for those of you from employee, become an entrepreneur. Start. Don't look at the organization you're working as an employee. For me, I
Yes.
never looked at I am an employee. I said this is my organization. I think that mindset, then only you will start. Otherwise, you'll say, why should I do this? I will not get extra bonus for coming up with an idea, or I won't get an increment, promotion.
Hmm.
So always we cannot connect that. Life lessons are
In,
more important
in
than.
fact, I want to add to this particular thing before I forget. Very, very valid point that you have put. And people might be thinking, what is this entrepreneurship, right? It is again an attitude. And I'll tell you what that attitude is. See, when you are employed, when you are studying as a student, you get promoted when you succeed, right? You create a success for the organization and then you get promoted. That's how the promotion is seen in the context of employment, or when you are a student. But the moment you become an entrepreneur, you get promoted at every single stage. Whether you are a success or a failure, it doesn't matter, you are getting promoted, right? Because you're learning from it, you have gone past that phase. So what is the difference between you who have failed and another person who have not failed yet? Is that yet. It is not that you failed and he didn't fail. It is the yet in between which is differentiating you from the person who has not yet failed. And that is where you have already got promoted, because you failed and you learned something and you're on the different stage now. The other person still have to fail before he can understand what you have understood now, new. So think of it like that. Then what happens is, when you are employed, when you are an entrepreneur, promotion doesn't affect you. You're not worried whether you got a hike. You're not worried whether your manager or super seniors or seniors are minding you. It doesn't matter for you, because you're learning every single stage, and that's your migration to entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. I think that he's also added so well. If I can just summarize the whole discussion of 1 hour with all the questions, few points I may not be able to cover all of them, especially for those who have joined much later or during the discussion, for the benefit of everyone. Entrepreneur, as I said, is a first employee, then entrepreneur, then entrepreneur, and the mindset is open to learn, and everything, and relationship management becomes the key. Trust me, till today I have not done any cold call, cold marketing. All my businesses come only through my network. I mean, is that enough? I'm not saying it's enough or not, but definitely that makes a big significant contribution to your growth. Yes, it makes a significant contribution. Manage your relationship, keep yourself in good books, no matter who they are. You have no idea who can become your client. Potentially your own boss can become a future client, your own team member can become. So my simple suggestion for entrepreneurs, I'm sure Ragesh will endorse that, and he's very good at relationship management as well. People, keeping the relationship, expand your network, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur. That is where that more is required as an entrepreneur. Relationship management, your money management, definitely, and share your ideas. It's okay. Don't, I think a lot of people worried saying, if I share my ideas, somebody will take on. Like I am thinking, in this universe there will be 101 people can think the same idea. I think more we share, it is good. And the next point is to keep adding value to other people around. One of my mentor, I've learned saying, whomever you meet, can just keep thinking, what can I give to them? How can I add some value to them? Something I can share, my knowledge or help or whatever. Keep doing that. I mean, that has definitely helped me know who I am today. All that, keeping a relationship is where now, I studied in IIM Bangalore. Now I'm a guest faculty there. How did it happen? Be in touch with the professors. I've been in touch, going to the institute, being in some activity, that volunteering. I think another message is volunteering will help you grow as an individual. When you volunteer is different. Yeah, volunteering doesn't mean you have to just go and do a charity in an orphanage, including that, because you don't know who's going to come. But within the organization, being in so many professional forums, I would definitely recommend that will help you to grow. And I would like to thank you, Ragesh, for spending your time. It was a wonderful conversation. And audience, you've been amazing questions, and we thoroughly enjoyed. And I'm talking on behalf of both of us. Thank you so much for such wonderful questions. And we didn't realize it's already an hour.
It was a beautiful conversation. I wish if all those people who has raised the question were also a part of this conversation, because the end of the day, we are a community being, right? But nevertheless, thanks a lot. Thanks a ton for every single person who has come on board. We hope some value has been added. If it has added value, please help us with your feedback, and we'll come back more, right? Thank you.
And you could reach out to us. I will repeat, Ragesh's company is scoopin.com, Scoopin with double P.
SCOOPPIN.
Yes. And
SCOOPPIN. Yes. And if you're a trainer who is listening to this, definitely come and create your portfolio website with us.
Yes.
Please do that.
And I'm Srividya Nagaraju, and srividyaNagaraju.com. You could reach out to Ragesh or me for any support to become an entrepreneur, solopreneur, or for overall growth. Let me put it that way. For overall growth, yes, we are there to serve you all. I would like to say thank you so much, Ragesh, and all of us who have joined, and namaskar and greetings.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.